Alright, what is going on YouTube? And today we got a brand new episode of Quickscoping for Christ. Today we're going to be talking about the Sabbath and basically the Lord's Day. It's a beautiful day outside. It is currently a Monday as I'm recording this. It is not the Sabbath, so don't worry. I'm not working on the Sabbath, but I'm going to be showing some verses highlighting the importance of the Sabbath day and what the Sabbath day entails. And yeah. So, look at this choke right here, first of all. That was on him, dude. I almost had a heart attack following that because I thought it was finally going to be the clip. And I hit a pretty crazy cross-map tomahawk on a ray that I won't be putting in this video. I put that cross-map Nuketown clip I've been saving, and we still don't have our quad feed. So, we got like about two and a half weeks. 3 if you count like the week I'll have left to Xbox Live while I'm grinding Black Ops 6 after I get that to hit a clip on the OG CODs. But don't worry, I don't know, don't worry. Just bottom line, don't worry. So, honor the Sabbath day by keeping it holy was the 4th commandment God gave Moses when the Israelites were in the desert. It is, in my opinion, one of the easiest commandments to keep, but one of the most societally encouraged commandments to break, if that makes any sense. And it's important to note that keeping this commandment, like keeping many other of the commandments, are of benefit to us, not just in our relationship with God, but like many other commandments, it also benefits us to keep them. Such as, you know, you do not commit adultery. There's obviously great health benefits to not committing adultery. Do not steal. You know, you're not gonna be in trouble with the law if you're not stealing. Do not like, there are a lot of repercussions that come with murdering and stealing. There are profound benefits to obeying your parents and listening to the wisdom and the knowledge they have through their life experience and understanding that they want what's best for you most of the time. There's, you know, exceptions. But this commandment, like all of those, serves a benefit to you too. After a long week, 6 days or so of working, you need some rest. Or at least you benefit very, very heavily from rest. Whether your labor was physical and your muscle needs time to recover so you don't wear down your body, or your brain needs time to just stop and abstain from thinking and deal with that glutamate buildup from all the decision making that you've made throughout the week of your mentally tasking job. It's important to have some rest and recenter yourself on God and have a day where you're giving Him your focus. Praising, worshiping with other like-minded individuals, other followers of Christ, and diving into the Word and letting that kind of, you know, end the week on a high note and enter the next week with some of the Word and with the Holy Spirit working in you. A few places that are included but not limited to in the Bible that mention the Sabbath are Exodus 34 verse 21, Exodus 31, Exodus 23 verse 12, Exodus 20 verse 8 to 11, and Deuteronomy 5 verse 12 to 15. In the Old Testament, in the book of Exodus 20 verse 8 to 11, God tells Moses, "Remember the Sabbath day by keeping it holy. 6 days you shall labor and do all your work, but the 7th day is a Sabbath to the Lord your God. On it you shall not do any work, neither you nor your son or daughter, nor your maidservant or manservant." I flip-flop those, it's manservant or maidservant. "Nor your animals, nor the alien within your gates. For in 6 days the Lord made the heavens and the earth, the sea and all that is in them. But He rested on the 7th day. Therefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath and made it holy." In Exodus 31, verse 14, verse 12, God says to Moses, "Say to the Israelites, you must observe my Sabbaths. This will be a sign between me and you for generations to come, so you may know that I am the Lord who makes you holy. Observe the Sabbath, because it is holy to you. Anyone who desecrates it must be put to death. Whoever does any work on that day must be cut off from the people. For 6 days work is done, But the seventh day is a Sabbath of rest, holy to the Lord. Whoever does any work on the Sabbath day must be put to death. The Israelites are to observe the Sabbath, celebrating it for the generations to come as a lasting covenant. It will be a sign between me and the Israelites forever. For in 6 days the Lord made the heavens and the earth, and on the seventh day he abstained from work and rested. So, it's clear to see that God takes this commandment very seriously. I'm not saying to go out and kill people working on the Sabbath day for many reasons. We are not the divine judge. God is. So, ultimately, he should be deciding who lives and dies. That's pretty obvious. But, in addition to that, when is the seventh day? Did God say, I'm starting creation on Sunday or Monday? Because we don't even know if the Sabbath day is Saturday or Sunday, or at least I don't know. I don't know who came up with the 7 different names for the days. I don't, as far as I've seen, I've read a good portion of the Bible. I don't remember in the Old Testament any mention of a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday at all. And so is Saturday the last day of the week? Because on calendars, Saturday is the last day of the week, and therefore it'd be the Sabbath. But in the church calendar, Sunday is always, or in most churches, Sunday is celebrated as the Sabbath day. Furthermore, some people begin their work week on different days than others, so their Sabbath day would be a different day than everybody else's. So there is a little bit of confusion there on when the Sabbath day is. But it's very clear that God says in the Old Testament that after 6 days of work, resting on the 7th day. So to me it's crucial that we take at least one day of the week to use as our Sabbath and rest and be mindful of the Lord. And to everyone, working means a different thing. And this is a case-by-case thing for me personally. Because to me the Sabbath means obviously not going out and working jobs, not trying to get ahead on the week, not trying to make any money for myself, and really resting. So I'm a big lifter, and I run. This means no lifting or running for me. And it also means no grinding for clips, because that's something that, while it is enjoyable for me, these OG CODs, they do feel like work. And so I'm not truly resting. I'm using my brain very hard, and even though I give glory to the Lord by quickscoping for Christ, it is not inherently it is not inherently a full godly thing to quickscope on Call of Duty. It's not a sacrament instituted by the Lord. And so if I find that the gaming I'm doing is more of a grind than a fun, unwinding thing with my friends, I just walk away from it. It's not the day for that. I got 6 other days to do that after all my work is done during the day. I also don't work or edit videos on the Sabbath. But let's take a moment to read from Matthew 12, verse 1 to 14, what Jesus, the Son of God, has to say about the Sabbath during his time on earth. Now, it's important to note that the New Testament doesn't make the Old Testament useless at all. In fact, it reinforces the teachings in the Old Testament through what Jesus, his disciples, and the apostles teach in the New Testament. It gives us new light and deeper meaning, and helps us follow in the example of God's Son Jesus himself. Matthew 12, verse 1 to 14. At that time, Jesus went through the grain fields on the Sabbath. His disciples were hungry and began to pick some heads of grain and eat them. When the Pharisees saw this, they said to him, "Look, your disciples are doing what is unlawful on the Sabbath." He answered, "Haven't you read what David did when he and his companions were hungry? He entered the house of God, and he and his companions ate the consecrated bread, which was not lawful for them to do, but only for the priests. Or haven't you read in the law that on the Sabbath the priests in the temple desecrate the day, and yet are innocent? I tell you that one greater than the temple is here."
Ooh, I hit him. No
referring to
way.
himself. "If you had known what these words mean, 'I desire mercy, not sacrifice,' you would not have condemned the innocent, for the Son of Man is Lord of the Sabbath." Going on from that place, he went to the synagogue, and a man with a shriveled hand was there, looking for a reason to accuse Jesus. They asked him, "Is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath?" He said to them,
No.
"If any one of you has a sheep and it falls into a pit on the Sabbath,
Let's go.
will you not take hold of it and lift it out? How much more valuable is a man than a sheep? Therefore, it is lawful to do good on the Sabbath." Then he said to the man, "Stretch out your hand." So he stretched it out, and it was completely restored, just as sound as the other. But the Pharisees went out and plotted how they might kill Jesus. So this concept to the Pharisees was very confusing, that you could be anything but in a vegetative state on the Sabbath. But Jesus reinforces the idea that the Sabbath is about him. It's not a day to get ahead, but it's also not a day to ignore help, because we all know that Jesus wouldn't ignore someone who needed help, even if it was the Sabbath day. So, like I always say, it's best to just follow in Jesus' footsteps and be close to God so we can know in our heart what the right thing to do is in different situations. Bottom line, the Sabbath day is a blessing to us. It's a day where we can rest and recover from the week and realign our focus on God. It's good to hear his words and put them into practice and not just pick and choose verses of the Bible to follow in accordance with what is most convenient for us. So yeah, I hope that helps. I hope it shines some light on the somewhat controversial topic of the Sabbath, and I hope you guys enjoyed. God bless you guys. I love you. Peace out. Wish me luck on hitting clips on OG CODs, and I will see you next time.